The evening of August 21st, 1986 was quiet in Cameroon, which is located in west-central Africa, bordering the Atlantic Ocean. It was a serene night, the kind that lulls you into a false sense of calm. The stars twinkled above and Lake Nyos rested peacefully in its volcanic cradle. This lake, calm on the surface, seemed like any other. Fish swam lazily, trees whispered in the breeze, and villagers lived peacefully nearby, unaware that the waters concealed a deadly secret. A sinister secret that was about to be unleashed in the most terrifying way imaginable. A disaster unlike anything the world had ever seen. At first glance, Lake Nyos was no different from any other lake. A mirror of water surrounded by green hills, home to a few fishermen casting their nets and animals quenching their thirst along its banks. But a ticking time bomb was lurking deep within its waters, one that no one even knew existed. You see, Lake Nyos wasn't just any lake. It was a volcanic lake, meaning it was perched atop an old volcano, simmering quietly, waiting, and deep within its depths, carbon dioxide was building up like a bottle of soda slowly being shaken. But instead of fizzing harmlessly, this lake had another plan. Hidden in its depths was an enormous concentration of carbon dioxide, CO2. A gas that's harmless enough when you're breathing the usual mix of air, but deadly in large, concentrated doses. The lake had become supersaturated with CO2, like a soda bottle shaken just one time too many. The night was still. The villagers, tucked into their homes, were unaware that the lake was brewing something ominous. Suddenly, without warning, the lake stirred. Maybe it was a landslide or a minor volcanic rumble, no one is quite sure. But whatever the trigger, it unleashed a catastrophe. It was as if the very earth sighed, and with that sigh, a massive cloud of carbon dioxide bubbled up from the water, silently rising to the surface. There was no warning, no rumble, no bang. Just a slow, invisible wave of death that crept over the landscape like a ghostly fog. CO2 is odorless, tasteless, invisible, the perfect silent killer. In a matter of minutes, the gas spilled over the lake's edges and descended into the valleys below. Nearby villages were filled with people, animals, life, and then, without a sound, it was all gone. The villagers didn't hear it, they didn't smell it. By morning, over 1,700 people and countless animals were found dead, as if they had simply fallen asleep and never woken up. The valley, once full of life, had become an eerie landscape of silence. No birds chirped, no goats bleated, no laughter rang through the air. The mystery of Lake Nyos had claimed its victims. Over 1,700 people as well as countless livestock suffocated where they stood, sat, or slept. The CO2 cloud had replaced the breathable oxygen, and within moments, life was snuffed out. The aftermath was terrifyingly bizarre. When the sun rose, the villages looked untouched. No signs of struggle, no chaotic debris, just stillness. Bodies lay as if frozen in time. Animals remained in their places, eerily peaceful. If you'd stumbled upon the scene without context, you might think you were in a macabre fairy tale where everyone had simply fallen asleep. But how? How could a peaceful lake suddenly become a killer? Scientists were baffled. How could a lake of all things cause such widespread devastation? The answer was buried deep beneath its waters in the mysterious world of volcanic lakes. Over time, gases from volcanic activity had seeped into the lake, but instead of escaping harmlessly, they became trapped, building pressure. Until one night, the lake decided to release its deadly secret. The lake had become what they called supersaturated with CO2. It was like a balloon filled with too much air waiting to pop. And pop it did, except instead of confetti, it unleashed a cloud of death. This puzzling and horrifying disaster, though tragic, sparked something extraordinary. It sent scientists on a quest to understand volcanic lakes and their deadly potential. This menacing event led to major scientific advancements. New technology was developed to monitor volcanic lakes and prevent a repeat of such a silent, deadly disaster. Special degassing systems were installed in Lake Nyos and other similar lakes around the world. Now every bubble of gas is carefully watched and the world holds its breath a little less. Today, monitoring systems have been put in place to ensure that no lake can surprise us like Lake Nyos did. CO2 degassing systems, which sound more like something from a sci-fi movie, now work to prevent such catastrophes from happening again. But the haunting memory of that quiet night in Cameroon remains, a reminder that even the calmest places can hide the deadliest secrets. After all, who would have thought that a peaceful lake could become a silent killer? The story of Lake Nyos is a chilling blend of nature's power, mystery, and the human drive to uncover the unknown, one gasp of air at a time. So, next time you're standing by a lake, admiring its beauty, take a moment to wonder, what secrets might it be hiding beneath the surface? Could it be the next Lake Nyos? Don't worry, probably not. But then again, nature has a funny way of keeping us on our toes.